is a news show.
Sup, you? Welcome to the Monday Show. I'm, of course, still Philip DeFranco, and this is just me talking about news and top stuff and things that matter to me today. And the first thing I want to talk about with you is today is the 7-year anniversary of the first video ever being uploaded to YouTube. It was a video called Me at the Zoo. It was uploaded by a user called John. It was uploaded at 8:27 p.m. April 23rd, 2005, and it looks like this.
Cool thing about these guys is that they have really long fronts.
I mean, just think how much your world has changed thanks to Twitter, Facebook, Google, YouTube. And yes, in 2012, many a mouth breather still believes YouTube's cat videos, Rebecca Black, people punching each other in the nuts. But then there's the other side of YouTube I like to share more, the people sharing their opinions, having a conversation, protests, riots, revolutions, booty clap videos. I mean, we're talking about change here, and I don't mean it in a campaign slogan type of way. I mean literally watching the world change. And I guess the two main points for this first thing, one, happy 7th anniversary YouTube, and two, however critical I am of YouTube, of their changes, their glitches, the constant not workification of the website, that is completely washed away with how open and amazing YouTube is. Every time they tell a police station, no, we're not going to take down a video of a cop beating someone down because it's, you know, going to reflect badly upon you, I go, yeah, that's my YouTube. Also, as a side note, if you want to see a lot of the stuff that I love about YouTube, you should go to Vidcon this year. It's in Anaheim, California. Dates down below. I'm going to be there. It's the 3rd year. It's my 3rd time there. It's the only YouTube conference thingy that I actually go to. It was made by the Vlogbrothers, people I consider friends, innovators of the space, and mainly people that just want to help you while not at the same time fucking you over. I don't think I can really speak any more highly of them. They are amazing, and so is Vidcon. So if you can come this year, do it. And to transition to another story about tech, let's talk about sex robots. The reason being, 2 New Zealand scientists just put out a research paper called Robots, Men, and Sex Tourism. In it, they predict that by 2050, not only will sex robots be a thing, and a very advanced thing, but the main focus in the sex-for-pay industry. And before we jump further into the story, I would like to preface it with something. Even though I would not engage in it, I do believe prostitution should be legalized. I mean, 1, it's the oldest profession in the world, you might as well tax it. 2, if it's a legal job and it's being taxed, then most likely it will be monitored. If you monitor it, you can actually slow, if not stop, STDs from spreading. And it would also most likely hurt the sex trafficking industry, which is still very big. I mean, this could feel like a whole other video. Tons of women still, to this day, are kidnapped and sold into sex trade. But all of those reasons about why I would legalize prostitution are even better with a sex robot. 1, robotic self-disinfecting vaginas. No STDs. You could buy one for home use, which, by the way, would that be less or more creepy than a fleshlight? But Phil, it feels good. I'm gonna trust you on that one, Joe Rogan. Also, if the robots are really good, gonna probably hurt sex slavery. But it does beg the question, if you had sex with a sex robot, would it be considered cheating? We ask the hard questions here at the Philip DeFranco Show. But would it be cheating? It's a humanoid robot, but it's not a human. For the Christians in the room, that means it has no soul. For the atheists in the room, it means it can't have a baby. Win-win. Also, let's say a friend borrowed a sex robot without asking. Would that be considered kidnapping and rape or theft? I need to know the answer, so let me know down below. Also, to the guys that are going to answer this question about having sex with a female robot, flip it and ask yourself, is it cheating if your girlfriend's like, hey, by the way, you enjoy the football game, I'm gonna go test drive this sex robot that's double your size and doesn't know what stamina is. Then re-answer. And from there, let's jump into some nerdy news. A lot of people have been very excited about Photoshop CS6, and the early reviews are, it's amazing. And it seems like the reason a lot of people are loving it, new advances in content aware, which was mainly used for like, what is this tree or laptop doing in the shot? Get rid of it. That was one of the really cool advances, but they've made it easier where like literally you can just take someone, move them, and you don't notice. And I dig a lot of the things in the beta. I am not that good of a photographer, so I love content aware so I can actually get rid of stuff. The ability to fake depth of field really, really well is fantastic because I only like to go around with one lens rather than having a whole kit with me, so I like that. With 3D objects, you can generate shadows because you didn't light it properly in the first place. And of course, background saving is nice because sometimes you're so into a project you forget to constantly save. So main point, if you are Photoshop aficionado, May 7th it comes out at the price point of $699 or free if you steal it. I do not endorse stealing, but honestly, 80% of the people I know that have Photoshop have fake copies. And from there, let's talk about updates from the George Zimmerman Trayvon Martin case. Last time we talked about it, Zimmerman had just been charged with second-degree murder and was arrested. Then last Friday at his bond hearing, Zimmerman apologized. He was speaking to Trayvon Martin's parents and said, "I wanted to say I am sorry for the loss of your son. I did not know how old he was. I thought he was a little bit younger than I am. I did not know if he was armed or not." Upon hearing that, the Martins and their lawyers said that it was disingenuous and he was just pandering to the court. Zimmerman's attorney said he didn't know it was going to happen and he apologized that anyone took offense. So, let's be honest, that was really one of the best things he could have done. And you could argue it worked because today George Zimmerman is out on $150,000 bail. There's video of him being released, but no one really knows where he went to after that because it seems like the court is fine with Zimmerman leaving Florida just for his own safety and the safety of his family. And I guess the main thing is we are getting closer and closer to a trial. And when you look at all the facts and how people are changing their opinions on this, I really think this case could go either way, and it's really just going to come down to the jury. And actually, a question for this story: do you think Zimmerman will be found guilty of second-degree murder? I mean, we've talked about it before, but the more I look at the situation, I have to say again, I think Florida overcharged him. I think Zimmerman is in the wrong, but making second-degree murder stick, I think you're going to have the most biased jury on the planet. It is Florida, so that is very, very possible. Sorry, Florida, but I think most of you would agree. I mean, to convict him of second-degree murder, you have to say, okay, he didn't say, "I'm going to kill Trayvon Martin" from the beginning. But once he put himself in the situation, he thought, "I have to kill this kid." For that, they're going to have to prove the racism. But with manslaughter, all you have to do is prove that what he did might kill someone. You have a gun. You shot at someone. Might kill someone. Everyone with a gun knows that. But ultimately, we'll have to wait and see because the Florida justice system is very hard to properly predict. And guys, the last thing I want to talk about today is your major being stupid. Newsweek and the guys over at the Daily Beast decided that rather than just making fun of you for having a stupid major, they would use science to make fun of you for having a stupid major. And the numbers they used were unemployment for recent graduates, earnings for recent graduates, earnings for experienced graduates, projected growth of the fields, and related occupation. They made a list of 13, so let's start at number 13. Political science and government, history, music, hospitality management. Side note, I almost changed my major from science to hospitality management when for like a little bit I was like, I love being a server, I could manage this restaurant. Double side note, I never actually graduated from college, so it really didn't matter. But back on track. 9, anthropology and archaeology. 8, journalism. 7, English literature and language. 6, philosophy and religious studies. 5, architecture. That one actually did surprise me. Commercial art and graphic design. Those are probably on the list because most people that say they are those things usually have the word freelance in front of it, which means I like freedom and not having a boss, and also sometimes living out of my car. But the ones that do succeed very well. Then film, video, photographic arts, drama, and theater arts. And the #1 most useless major according to science, fine arts. And now that you've taken a look at the list, you have to sit back and go, well, what can I take away from this other than the fact that I get to make fun of my friends because they have one of these majors? Well, the first thing I would argue is the major isn't as useless as the person is. What I mean by that is if you are a history major because you want to be a historian, good job. But if you're a history major because you couldn't really decide on a major and history is really fun, the classes aren't till 2, then you should also take a class on how to properly fry fries at McDonald's, as that will most likely be the most helpful thing for you. In fact, the only thing that I find stupid on the list would probably be film and graphic design. Art school is fucking crazy expensive, and unless you're there essentially just for the networking, it's stupid. Take that money that you're going to throw into a fire so some guy that never really made it could tell you how to appreciate art, and just make something. You're going to make cooler stuff and meet more creative people. And as for the other ones, hey, if that's the job that you want and you think that it's going to make you happy and make you enough money, do it. I was a sci math major in the pre-med program and I hated life because I didn't want to do it. I was doing it because of the numbers. I was like, job security, you always need more doctors, pays pretty good, respect from my father. But at the end of the day, if you're really not into it, 1, you will be clinically depressed, or 2, eventually you'll go to the thing that you want to go to. And if you're worried because your heart's not in something right now, don't. It's okay to be undeclared until a certain point. And if it's like the last second, you have to make a decision, just get a business degree. It's the C- of the degree world. It says, hey, I went to college for at least 4 years. It's better than one of those fine arts degrees because no one really ever takes you serious. But it's vague and non-specific enough that you can actually work anywhere. Why? Because everything relies on business principles. But hey, that's just my opinion. I'd love to know yours. And that is why your question of the day today is, what is, was, will be your major in college? Did, do, will you use that major for your career? Comment down below. But yeah, enough blah 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 blah. We have come to the part of the show where I'll throw something at your face, and today it is $100 gift card to Amazon.com. Of course, to possibly get pelted in the face with said thing, just leave a comment on this video. And of course, a big thank you if you like this video and you clickety-clack the like button, favorite it, share it on Twitter or Facebook, whatever you do. I appreciate the support. But of course, as always, my name is Philip DeFranco. You've just been filled in. I love your faces, and I'll see you tomorrow.